Hey, I want to make a video today that I'm going to warn you up front is probably going to be a little rambling and a little incoherent, and it's probably going to piss some people off, but it's something I feel I need to say. It's something a lot of gun channels should say, but a lot of them don't want to piss off their fan base, so they don't want to say anything negative, but I want to say it today. And there's a couple of things I want to cover in this video, but the first thing, the gist of the video is going to be, I want to talk to people out there that have said, you know, all gun channels these days have just become sellouts, shills, and beggars. Well, I want to say one thing to those people. I want to say, shut the fuck up. Most of these gun channels are providing you a service, and they have a right to make a living. Now, I know a lot of people don't think that gun channel people have to make a living. I mean, I appreciate when people contact me and say, we love the fact that you use your Patreon money to do the TYMP Pistol Project. If you don't know what the TYMP Pistol Project is, I'll put a link up in the corner, one of these corners here, to let you go see what it is. But then they'll go on to slam other channels that don't do the same thing. And I want to point out one difference between me and some other channels. I'm retired. You know, I'm old. I've worked a lifetime. Some of these people are in the prime of their life or aren't in a position where they can retire, and they're actually working. They want to be advocates for the Second Amendment. They want to present you firearms. They want to present you entertainment that's firearm related. Because let's face it, where else can you get firearm related entertainment or information? It's not like it's just laying around these days. You can't, it's not like swinging a dead cat hitting firearm related information. It just doesn't come out much. So that's a horrible analogy there, but you know what I mean. So I just want to tell people, stop slamming on gun channels that take money. All the big channels on YouTube survive by taking sponsorship, Patreon, things like that, or ads, etc. And here's the thing, gun channels can't really get ads now. And it doesn't matter what we make our videos about, we're pretty much blacklisted. If you look at my video lists, pretty much everything is demonetized. In fact, things are demonetized before they even go live. I mean, the second I upload them, they're immediately demonetized. And it's not even because people are going around reporting them, which there are people out there that just go around all day reporting gun videos to get them demonetized. It's just that they put us on a list that as soon as we upload a video, it's demonetized. At least some of us are on that list. So the whole ability to make money off ads and keep providing you a service doesn't exist for a lot of gun channels. So these people need to have a way to make money. And there's different ways you can do that. You can either take sponsorship, which I know a lot of people are going to say, well, the people that take the sponsorship, those are the bad guys, they're shills. That's not the case. That's not always the case. It is the case every great once in a while, but that's kind of obvious. But a lot of them are just like video gun magazines. The ones that take sponsorship or push products, we need those people, especially because those people support the gun industry. Gun industry can't buy commercials on television, so they need to be able to advertise their products, and because we need them in the fight for gun rights. The gun industry is a big champion of our gun rights usually, because without our gun rights, they don't have a market, so we need to be able to put their product out there. So people who take sponsorship, that doesn't mean they're a shill or a sellout. I mean, they can cross that line into being one, but most did I say call noir? But most of them are just salesmen or advocates, let's say, for the firearms industry. They can make a deal with a company to, for money, promote a product that they like and that they agree with. There's quite often people who will contact me. Now, I don't do sponsorship, but companies will contact me and say, hey, will you promote our product? And I'll always say, I'll make a video if it's a product I like. But I don't really take sponsorships, so I don't take pay from them. But that's not saying taking pay from them is a bad thing, like I said, because some channels choose to fund their channels that way. So you got channels that take sponsorship. That doesn't mean they're bad. So quit saying that's, shills. It's not necessarily a shill if they're providing an honest product. If they're providing you a good product in an honest manner, etc. They don't even have to be super. They don't tell you every bad thing about a gun. That's up to you to decide. Look around, do your research. They can present it like a commercial if they want to. That's not dishonest. So quit saying everyone who takes sponsorship is a shill. They have to make a living somehow. Now, that's their job. That's what a lot of people forget. You might not like it that that's their job, because you might wish it was your job. Because I know a lot of people say, well, I don't know, well, guys get paid to work at a gun shop. I'd stay in there all day long and hand out guns. Well, you wouldn't if it was your main source of income and you had to do it. And you'd be like, I want a paycheck for this. So those people working in a gun shop deserve a paycheck, just like the people who make content on YouTube for you and me, etc., and show us products. They deserve a paycheck. It's not like everyone's being charged. It's not like they're charging you to watch their videos. It's a small percentage of people that take it upon themselves to help support the gun community, that support channels. And that gets me to the second part of the people. If you don't take sponsorship, well, then you have to take like advertising. And like I said, advertising is not an option for us. So then you have to go to outside sources of income like Patreon. That's a different type of sponsorship. They're not being sponsored by a company. They're being supported by the masses. They're crowdfunded. And these are the ones people call beggars. They're always begging. They're always saying, give me money, give me money. That's not begging. Begging implies you're not getting something from it. And I think we've already covered that they're providing you a service, either showing you product or advocating for your rights. A lot of gun channels out there are some of the biggest advocates for Second Amendment rights in this country and doing the most good. I like to think that I'm a decent advocate for the Second Amendment. I try to reach an audience most gun channels don't reach. Military Arms, he's a crowdfunded channel. He's an example of a crowdfunded channel. And he's a great advocate for the Second Amendment, works with the GOA, etc., helped expose the NRA for what I said they were for years. So crowdfunded channels, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not begging. And it's like I said, it's not everyone that supports them. Out of the people subscribed to my channel, it's like 0.5% give me a dime to help me promote my channel. And I try to run the TYMP Pistol Project with the money people do give me. But, you know, what was I going to say there? Oh, yeah. People who take crowdfunding, that doesn't mean they're beggars. They're working for their money, and it's like a PBS drive where they say, if you want us to stay on the air, help support the channel. Because people be like, well, how much does it cost to produce a gun channel? Well, if they're showing you guns they bought with their own money, which most channels that are crowdfunded do because they don't get guns for free from companies that have sponsored them, well, they're spending their money on that, but that's something most of us would do anyway, so people discount that. But the time it takes to make a video and edit a video and put up a video and promote a video and do the work behind the scenes, the research, etc., that's a lot of their time. That's their job. So they deserve to be paid for it. If they want to be helping you and me and helping the gun industry, that's fine. They should be paid. And like I said, it's not everyone that's being asked to pay. If you don't want to pay, just don't pay. Whatever reason you don't want to pay, just stick to it. But if you're one of the people, like I say, it's about less than 0.5 or 1% for me, that take it upon themselves to say, I want this to continue. There's nothing wrong with a channel like mine saying, hey, if you want my channel to continue, go to my Patreon, support me. Nothing wrong with Military Arms channel doing that. And, you know, that's, to me, that's the best kind of channels, the crowdfunded channels. I really like crowdfunded channels. So stop calling them beggars, because they're not begging. They're working freaking hard, providing a service to the industry, providing a service to you, and making a very little money off of it. Now, I know a lot of people think, oh, gun channels make so much money off advertising and stuff. Well, no, unless you merchandise yourself and you get crowdfunding, you don't make a fortune, and crowdfunding is not a fortune. Like I said, it's less than 0.5 of 1%. Give me a nickel. So if you look at the numbers, like, we're not allowed to talk about money we make from YouTube and stuff. We're just not allowed to say numbers. But, you know, if I show you this chart here with no numbers, it'll give you kind of an idea of what a realistic expectation of a YouTube gun channel is. Since everything I have is demonetized, you'll see the little line here, and you'll see the big spikes, and I'll talk about those. But the line right here, let me tell you something. Those lines, the other lines on the chart, those are increments of $20. So I can't really tell you how much each one of these dots are, how much I earn, but look how far they are below that $20 mark. They're more than halfway down. They're under what would be $10, under $10 a day. So if you think people are getting rich on like $10 a day, and I have 280,000 subscribers or something in that range. So if you think people are getting rich off advertising on gun channels on YouTube anymore, it's not happening. Now, the little spikes, you might ask what those are. That's super chats. That's what I do during my chat when I say, okay, this week we're going to give the money to this animal charity, or this month we're going to give the money to this animal and veteran charity, etc. And you can see that's not a lot either. People the other night were getting on me saying, you're going to make $500 off this super chat. And I'm like, well, I don't know where you get that from, because if you add up all the super chats I got tonight, it's only like $200. And then you got to remember, about a third to a half of those won't clear, period. They'll just be deleted the next day. They'll never show up on your earnings statement. And I don't think, some of that's because the people cancel it after they make it, and some of it's because I think just YouTube screws it up and doesn't get it approved. But about up to half your money just disappears immediately. And then YouTube takes a third of it. And a YouTube, after they take their third, I get what's left minus whatever my channel, not my channel, but my, what's that service called that we're part of, our little group we're part of, our network. Our network takes part of it. Now, when I give away the money to charity, I go ahead and I swallow the part, yeah, it's just that I swallow the part that YouTube and my network takes. If I earn, if $100 shows up that I earned it off a super chat, that's what I give to the animal charity, and the percentages YouTube and my network take come out of my pocket. Or actually, usually come out of my Patreon, but you know what I mean. So, that's just what I wanted to say today. Oh, and one more thing. People can merchandise. If someone's merchandising and they're making money off of a product they're selling you, that's the one you should complain about the least, because it takes time, effort, you got to ship stuff, etc. to do merchandising. So like channels like Iraq Veteran 888 that does the Man Can. That takes a lot of effort to send that out, to get it together, send it out in it. And a lot of people complain it's just trinkets. Well, what do you expect for that little amount of money? It's just kind of like a membership drive, basically. You're a member of this group and you get this as like recognition of the fact that you're a membership. You're actually getting something tangible for it, because some people like to get something tangible. It's like when I give away patches for people who join my channel, which by the way are on their way out now for all the ones that went through September through last month. All of those are on their way out now. I just gave the list to Forge from Freedom. So merchandising is something no one should complain about, because believe me, merchandising is more of a pain than anything else. And until you get to a certain level, you don't make money off of it. It costs you money. So stop complaining about channels being sellouts and shills and beggars, because they're none of those things. Now, some people are, and those people usually don't last. Because I hate when people look at me and say, oh, you got a gun channel that does pretty well. Boy, if you can do it, anybody can do it. That's not true. It's not true at all. Look at how many fail. I say out of every 10 gun channels that existed 5 years ago that I thought was popular, there's probably, out of every 10, there's probably one left out of every 10, because the other 9 have failed or faded away. So it's not a case of anybody can do it. That's why I'm saying another reason you should appreciate what they do, because there are people that have the talent but don't have the drive, or people that have the drive but don't have the talent. But then there's very few people that have the drive and the talent. And then there's people like me that have really neither but still somehow manage. So very few people can actually do it. So if you're one of the people that want to take it upon yourself to support them, please do so, because we need to keep a strong presence on social media for firearms. We need to keep the firearms industry promoted and healthy. Our Second Amendment rights could be dependent on it. So, and our First Amendment rights even, because they're dependent on the second, if you ask me. So just stop complaining. Everyone stop bitching. Stop feeling like you need to degrade gun channels simply because they try to make a living, or because they're not doing what another gun channel does. So that was my main topic I wanted to talk about today. Now, the other little thing about it I want to talk about is, I know I'm bad at merchandising, and I know I'm bad at selling my channel, and I'm never going to be good at it. Believe me, I get all the times I don't promote my t-shirts or anything like that. Like, you can go over to Forge from Freedom shops and buy my t-shirts. You don't see blurbs at the end of my videos or me talking about it all the time. But I wanted to talk about another thing too. Support my Patreon channel, because since I started doing the TYMP pistol project, it has taken a steep decline, because a lot of people don't agree with the TYMP pistol project. So if you're someone out there that does like my channel, I'm going to take this moment of self-promotion, shameless self-promotion, and go and say, please go support me on Patreon, because I want to keep doing the TYMP pistol project. Right now, I've been giving a firearm a week, providing a firearm every week to a person in need. In fact, it's been more than a firearm a week I've been giving away recently, because I also give away friend guns that I use the Patreon money for. So, support my channel. So that's the second part of my talk tonight. But if you're someone that wants to see the gun community stay healthy, and you want to see the gun industry stay healthy, stop bitching about gun channels, because right now they're the most visible thing we have on the internet. The good ones and the bad ones. Now, there's some that do more harm than good, if you ask me, but overall, there are marketers, there are promoters, there are salesmen, there are advocates, there are all kinds of gun channels out there. But the vast majority of them are not soaking you for any money. They're not getting something for nothing. They're out there working hard, they're providing a service, and for the people that want to support them and keep them around and understand the importance that the important part they play in the Second Amendment, keep supporting them. Do what you can for them. If you're someone who's been thinking about it, do it. Choose 3 gun channels you like, give them $1 a month. Choose 2 you like, give them $3 a month. Or choose 2 and give them $5 a month. Or 1 and give them 10, whatever. A lot of the channels have different levels you can be for different donations. So, just like mine does. So, support me, that's one, and also support the rest of them and stop bitching. These people aren't getting something for nothing. They aren't getting rich. What they're doing is they're working hard, trying to make a living and trying to make a difference. And I think more of you should help them do that.